Hello, welcome to Crafting Creativity Music Teaching Studio. So today I have an interesting activity, an exercise for us all to involve ourselves in. This is an exercise on vocal onsets. An onset is the way in which we initiate a tone. So for starters, we never want to attack a note, we're always initiating tone. But these onsets can give us different emotional effects depending on how we want to sing a song. The best onset to use for practicing and to learning a song, and the most healthy onset to use, is probably a balanced onset. So a balanced onset is simply when there is even breath and even musculature action. So even breath and even tone is another way of saying that. So if you use a Y and sing ya, that will most likely have a balanced onset. Ya, ya, smooth, even, balanced onset. So this onset is the best one to use when learning a song and when practicing in general. The other onsets, there are 3 others, and they're really great for emotive singing, but they should never be your default. You always want to be aware of what you're doing. For example, if we're singing a song like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, with a balanced onset, it would sound like this. Somewhere over the rainbow. Nice and even and beautiful. Which is lovely, you know, but perhaps we want to be a bit more emotive with it. In which case we can use one of the other onsets. So another onset that we can use is an aspirated onset, or an aspirate onset. And you'll be familiar with this sound. A lot of pop singers use it. A lot of singers in general use this sound, and jazz singers as well. And what it does is it creates a sense of intimacy, because we have this sexy aspirated tone. And what that does is it allows for the listener to almost feel like a lover is whispering in their ear. So it's great for intimate lyrics. So what happens with this is that we're letting air come out before the tone, and there is more air than tone in the breath. To demonstrate this on Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it could sound something like this. Somewhere over the rainbow. And it gives that feeling of intimacy, and it's great to use, but we don't want it to be our default, like I said earlier. The third vocal onset we can use is a vocal fry, and you'll probably be very familiar with this as well. Basically what's happening in a vocal fry is that the muscles start actually vibrating against each other at a very slow pace, and what this causes is that guttural sound, you know, like what's known as fry. It's not necessarily an unhealthy sound unless you're doing it all the time. Like I said, the most important thing is to be aware of what the voice is doing. So this can be also quite an intimate and emotional sound, perhaps a fragile sound as well. So if you can do that, it's in your M0 register, which is the lowest register you can sing in. So let's give it a shot with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It might sound something like this. Somewhere over the rainbow. So what I'm doing there is using a lot of vocal fry. So you probably wouldn't use it that much, but you can see the effect that it has on the voice. The final vocal onset that we will look at today is called a glottal attack. So with the glottal attack onset, what happens is the vocal folds are closed abruptly and forcefully before the airflow commences, and it results in this kind of pop sound. So this isn't necessarily a healthy onset either. You want to use this one sparingly, as it's quite harsh on the vocal folds. But what you can do is use it at the height of an emotional peak, and it creates this feeling of a wail, like a calling out, and it can be quite emotional. So have a listen to this on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. So you can see how that would be used and can create this dramatic sense of pain and anguish. So Have a go of all of these onsets and see how they help you and see how they change your singing, but always be aware of what you are doing vocally. If you want to sign up to the mailing list below, you will receive a complimentary lesson from me regarding vocal onsets and how to use them to emotionally activate our singing. And another thing to remember is, of course, that not only are there onsets which start every note we sing, but there are also offsets which would finish them. So think about how all these onsets would apply to the end of notes and let me know what you think. All right, bye guys.